what's up everybody? Welcome to another YouTube video. My name is Drew Muzan. Thank you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time watching me, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment and get this video out to all your friends. So on the last couple of videos that I have uploaded, one was talking about how to start your podcast and another was talking about how to start your YouTube channel. And within that YouTube channel video, I kind of talked a little bit about, creating content and, how to create content a little bit, but I wanted to do a little bit more in-depth video. Now, by in-depth, I only mean like a 5-minute video. So the first step in creating content is figuring out what you're good at. And what I mean by what you're good at is, what are you passionate about? Are you passionate about cooking? Are you passionate about sports? Are you passionate about writing? Are you passionate about poetry? Are you passionate about fashion, music, whatever it is? What are you passionate about? Figuring out what you are passionate about, and then after you figure out what you're passionate about, then translate that into the type of content that you want to create. So for example, I hear a lot of people who will have a lot of sports knowledge, and I'm like, man, you need to start a podcast, and they just shrug it off like, yeah man, I do, man, but I don't have the stuff or whatever, and they just shrug it off. But I see a lot of times, like, that's one thing I'm good at, I believe, is looking in people and seeing what gift or what talent that God has graced them with when it comes to creativity. Like, a lot of people I see at work, I'm like, yo, like, you should do a sports podcast, man. You know a lot about sports, man. Dang, like, you really should do a sports podcast. And they just, shrug it off, or just like, yeah, I should. And then, it just brush it off and just move on to the next thing. But it's just like, there's a lot of people that can be content creators. They just don't have, the confidence, and two, the resources. So I talked about the resources. I talked about how to start your podcast. I talked about how to start your YouTube channel. I told you guys that I'm recording all of my videos on an iPad, so you can utilize your resources. I talked about utilizing your resources as well. So there's a lot of ways you can get content out, even just using your iPhone. So, but the first thing is figuring out what type of content you put out. What are you passionate about? And then when you're figuring out what are you passionate about within that industry, what do you want to do? Like for cooking industry, for example. In the cooking industry, relative to content, you have people making up recipes every week. You have people trying different things, trying different recipes that people have already did, trying, Great American Classics, trying surf and turf dishes. I watch a couple people that do barbecue. I watch a couple of companies do like content. They bring special guests, celebrity guests on within their hometown, and they go around the city and try out food from Instagram chefs. Like, there's a lot of content within the culinary world, but the thing is, after you figure out, if you're trying to do culinary, after you figure out what all is in the culinary world, then sit back and be like, okay, what is everybody not doing? And that's my best advice, is what is everybody not doing? Now, if you're good at just cooking, you just want to do the recipes and you want to do it your way, then yeah, go ahead with the traditional, Instagram or YouTube videos about recipes and cooking, and you may have a bubbly personality and it may go over well for you. But my advice is try to figure out something that nobody else is doing, because right now YouTube is saturated, because people have cracked the code to figure out, oh, I don't need a fancy computer and lights and all that other stuff. All I really need is a phone. A phone and a good personality and being able to talk. You can talk to your phone for a couple of years until until you blow up or become viral. You really could just start with a phone. So there's a lot of people making YouTube videos, so it's oversaturating the market. So if there's saturation in the market, you need to yourself figure out, okay, the market is oversaturated. What can I do to separate myself within the marketplace? You don't want to do everything that everybody else is too. And then also figuring out, being confident with the fact that you may not know how to do everything. Like, one thing about me is I want to create content all the time, but I'm pressed to be able to create content sometimes because a lot of stuff is not who I am. Like, Drew Muzan is not a motivational speaker. I'm not a motivational speaker. I could motivate you if a word comes to me, I may get on here and put it on here like I have before and motivated people, but that's not me. I'm not that guy that's watching leadership podcasts and motivation stuff every single day to get motivated and like, I want to motivate you to do better. I'm more of on the educative side, entertaining side, content side. I'm not on the fun slime mukbang side. I don't want to do that. I think that's stupid. But then I'm not on the whole motivational tip for the week. I'm not on that. And I tried, but I just be pulling out of my behind if I did. So I'm not going to do that. So you want to stick with your strengths. Another thing you want to do is figure out what type of person are you on camera. Are you an on-camera person or are you an off-camera person? Are you shy or are you bubbly? And you being shy or bubbly will tell what type of content you want to put out or what type of content you should put out. Like I've said this before, I have a friend who's a rapper. Shout out Chosen. I have a friend and he's not really the loudest person, you know what I'm saying, but he can rap really well and he's a really good musician. And I was talking to him months ago about putting out content. And my advice was, since you're not, you know what I'm saying, you're not the in-camera type, you know what I'm saying, unless it's a music video or, you know what I'm saying, unless it's a music video or something like that, you're not really the on-camera type. So you want to figure out something that can motivate you to get on camera if you have to break out of that shyness or break out of that stillness. You want to figure out something that motivates you. What motivated him was sneakers and clothes and fashion, because he's a really fly guy. So I told him, you know, start a YouTube channel, start talking about sneakers, start talking about clothes or whatever like that, because that'll get you to open your mouth, that'll get you to talk, and it will distract your brain from realizing, like, oh, I'm a shy person, oh, I don't really talk like that, oh, I really don't talk that loud, because you're really passionate about it. So figuring out what you're passionate about is key to content creation. But then after that, you have to figure out what type of person are you, what type of medium do you want to use. Do you want to just create blogs? Do you want to create vlogs? Do you want to create just Instagram videos? Do you not want to do YouTube? Do you want to become Instagram, you know, do Instagram content? Do you want to do Facebook content? These are the things you have to figure out. And then after that, you want, within content creation, you want to utilize your social media. So you want to be able to spread your content on all those different channels. So if, like with this YouTube video, I sometimes, if I have time, I'll put this on Facebook. I'll put a snippet of it on Instagram. You want to utilize your social media channels and get the content out to everybody so that they can see it. So you don't want it to just live on YouTube. You want it to live on multiple channels so that when people type it in on Google, not just YouTube will just come up, but Facebook and Instagram and all this other stuff will come up under it. So you'll get more hits and more drive to whatever pages you want to get driven to. That was a bad example. I don't know what driven to, that's not a word. And then lastly, when creating content, you want to create videos that last anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. So that's usually my goal, unless I just start talking, unless I start flowing. That's usually my goal, is stick between the 5 to 10 minute realm, because we're in a microwave society and a lot of people digest content really fast. And I know sometimes for me, unless the content's really interesting, it's hard for me to stick to it for more than 20 minutes, depending on what it is. So, you know, unless it's a sermon or unless it's a podcast, something like that, you want to dictate the stuff into parts. So like when I used to do interviews, now I just post a whole 45-minute thing. You could just watch it. YouTube has this thing now where it stops you off whenever you leave it, so you could just go back to whenever you finish it. Go back to wherever you left off at. But before, I used to put interviews in parts because people couldn't take a whole 50-minute interview in one segment. But now interviews, sermons, whatever like that, it'll be the whole 45-minute, whole 50-minute. But when it comes to parts of videos, stuff like that, you want to create parts. When it comes to like 40-minute videos on random stuff, you want to create parts so that you can space out your content. Well, I hope this was helpful. Just a few keys, like I said. You want to figure out what you're passionate about. You want to figure out what medium you want to use. Figure out what type of person you are when it comes to creating content. Are you shy? Are you bubbly? Are you mixed? You know what I'm saying? And then trying to choose content around that would help you come out of that shell of sorts. And then lastly, you know, choosing time frame and making sure that your stuff comes out in 5 to 10 minute increments or less. And then if it's certain categories, like it's a sermon or it's a podcast or it's an interview, let them run all the way through. But if it's other stuff, like just regular content like this and it's 30 minutes long, it's better to put it in parts. And then also too, it helps you space out your content, you know what I'm saying? So if you are busy one week and you don't want to put out a video, you can just put out part 2. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope these tips were helpful and in helping you guys create content. Be on the lookout for more videos, more stuff about the new church coming soon. Until next time, peace.